for joining me, everyone. We're going over docSTAR Fundamentals this afternoon. So this is our first course in the series of our online trainings. This is the one that you'll need for the foundation for anything else. In this session, we're going to go over just the essentials of the docSTAR software. If you've never seen the product before, this is where you want to begin. And if you're going through certification program or our partner resellers, this is also the first one in the series. We're going to the points of using docSTAR, and that's scanning, file, retrieving documents. It's utilizing those documents, like emailing them, printing them, putting annotations on. There's a lot of features in here that we probably won't be able to get to today. We'll give you some time at the end of the session just to ask me any questions that maybe I didn't cover the topic or just didn't have the opportunity to ask it as I was going through them all. I need to tell you that docSTAR 3.13 is our current release. That's the version that I have installed and that I'm going to be showing you today. If it's installed on your system already, the icon on your desktop looks like this, a yellow star, docSTAR. If you're on Windows 8 like I am, you can start. You'll have it in here as well, this yellow star, your docSTAR program. When you click on it, let me close mine so you can see it. It will actually log you in if your system is configured to do that. Otherwise, it'll prompt you for the login like you're seeing here. Now, username password, I will go ahead and put in my admin account for training. And now that I'm logged in, I'm not sure if you can see, it's kind of dark on my system, but across the top, you can put a dash and then a name. If you see that, that means you're logged into docSTAR's this account. If it just says docSTAR and dash the name after that, then you're dealing with an account, you're using the guest account. So what you should check out is make sure you're logged in as the right user. If not, on the left-hand side, this is your navigation. You can go to the system, and then your username, password, and log in. The left-hand side is your main navigation. To move throughout the docSTAR system. Now, if you do need some more screen space, you don't want to see these bigger icons on the left, you can collapse that using this blue arrow on the top next to main. Click on it, the icons, and now you have more space to work with on your screen. Most of the time that you're in the system, you're retrieving documents. In fact, most users are retrieve users. They just use docSTAR to find the documents that somebody else may have input into the system. So we're going to start with that case. To find documents, click on Retrieve. Many retrieve options available. Now, this is the default retrieve screen. So you have text and where you can put any word or phrase to search for. So if I want to find, for instance, all of my invoices, I could type in invoice, and all documents that have the word invoice in it are returned. I know that because down here in the bottom left it says 76 documents. How many returned in one? I can thing up here to retrieve by. Maybe I search for just those that are 1010, and I have 4 documents returned. Word I've used to file my documents with. That's the most common way to retrieve, but it's not the only way to retrieve. Retrieval options, retrieving numbers in particular, you're getting too many hits. Now my system is pretty small, I don't have a lot of stuff in here, but most systems, if you put in a 4-digit number like this, 1010, you're going to get lots of things returned, not just invoice numbers. I could get numbers, account numbers, social security numbers, whatever has 10 as the value I'm looking for. So I could narrow it down instead by using a simple search and choosing a field. Have the title within it. You can also click this blue arrow, and this is my preference. If I want more retrieve options, I do this instead. Click on the arrow, and now field retrieval right here in the middle. The field, that is specify exactly what field you're looking for. I want 10, but I only want the invoices that are 1010. So invoice number equal to 1010. These as well. So maybe the invoices, I only want the ones that were created within 30 days. I don't these are all from June, but retrieval, and I will have any documents returned in this case. So you can do multiple fields here, and they're very specific return to you. Do the combination of your field retrieval and then your general word retrieval. Out top right hand corner, click clear. Do something. I'll do invoice number. And I don't know the exact invoice number. I just remember it starts 107 something. So I can do invoice number 7. And the invoices, I don't want the orders or the PALS or the POs that come with it. So I can hear the word invoice. And that will receive all documents that is anywhere in it and begin with or contain 107 within the invoice number field. So you have a here on the retrieve. Like this way of searching documents, you could browse a folder structure as well. You can click on the top, and on the side, these are the folders that are in your docSTAR system. Clicking on any of these, you get the traditional folder. You can drill down through the folders. Next is not in a folder does not mean it's not in the system. Also, you can docSTAR system with no folders at all, but still have thousands of documents. Folders aren't a real entity within the system. They're just pointers, reference to something. So don't be alarmed if you don't find something in a folder. You search on the left-hand side, the left tab. You're likely to find it this way. You have the results set down on the bottom. Here's a trick for you. You might be noticing something that I haven't seen before, not up until 313 anyway. Is I have custom columns here. I've chosen what colors are on display. 313, you have fixed set columns. You'll see your title, your keywords. I forgot what the other ones are. Classification, number of pages, and modification. You can't choose what fields are up here, any of the custom fields that are in your system, unless you're on 313. In 313, you connect to view, and where is it? Columns. And now you choose which columns that you're seeing. So maybe add the approvals. I want to see how people have approved. How would I go for this one? Order date. I'll put my order date on here. Approval date there. That's why I couldn't see it. The left-hand side, these are the columns you're not using, or see screen. And on the right-hand side, these are the columns that you do see. Approval. So I'll put order date on, and a little higher. So I'll push that order date up on the screen. Column. That's feature for 313. I think it's a big one. It seems small, but when you retrieve your documents and identify which one you're looking at, these additional columns are very helpful. So next, returned, you might want to see them, take a look at them, work on them. What you do at that point is highlight any of the documents you want to work on, and you turn on your keyboard, and that'll open all of those documents. Document view. I have some panels here on the left-hand side. We will take some time going through them. And then we have a document on the right. And you may have adjusted that. I moved the scroll bar a little bit, so I have my document taking up more of the screen. But I have a view here. If I need to zoom in on an area of the document, I hold my left mouse cursor and draw a box and run that section for me. I can right-click a document and choose to zoom in 100% or back out. I'll put it where it fits in the window that I'm showing. So that was click, and you can change your zoom options here. I have a document that has more than one page. This set of arrows below at the bottom where I'm showing one of one. You can scroll through the pages of the document. Then one document selected, like I did here, I selected 6 documents. I go through each document by using these on the top.
Wow.
Now, here on the left, here as well. This is the page you're looking at. If you have a multi-page document, you're only deleting this one page. You're not deleting the whole document with this X. Notations. The arrows rotate only the page you're looking at, whereas the arrows rotate all pages of the document. And then your annotation toolbar. This is a big one. The annotations on here. Now I click that icon on my toolbar. I'm going to move that so you can see it a little better. And now put some annotations or notes on here. Some of the ones are sticky notes, for instance. This little here. Click on it. I'm going to change the color of my sticky note. Let's make it whatever color. And now if I left click, draw sticky note on here. That's pretty popular. This is the solid square or the solid rectangle. Highlight, and you can block out an area of the document. Maybe this here is confidential and I don't want anyone to see it. I can block it out. Even do one better, and I can, since I have a white background, I'll make it here and block out another section. I've blocked them in all up. Annotations on here. Only do the annotations if your account has rights to. View originals where you can't modify or change any of these annotations that are on here. So make them, if you can't do annotations, it's because your account doesn't have rights. Your account does have rights to see the original version without the annotations. You can toggle the annotations on and off as well. So maybe someone put that sticky note around something and I need to see what's behind. Last above the document toggles the annotations off for you. And again, if your account has rights to see the original document. Here's a question I always get. How to delete one? If I want those there, I want to delete an annotation. You have to click on the pointer icon. Highlight the annotation you want to remove. So, click now that it's highlighted. I can delete on my keyboard or and delete as well. So I put on. I still have this one right here, by the way. Annotations on or off. Now, what you usually want to do here against your document is you also print it or email it out. Send to features. So I send it to my printer or send it to my email. I can go here to File, Send, and I can send to Menu Options. So let's look at the Email tab. If I want to send this to email, and on the right-hand side, you can go to Send. The whole document, just the page you're looking at, specific pages. You can also choose to include those annotations or not. If you're using MAPI email, so something like that, it's not a web-based email, then you don't have to fill anything here on the left-hand side. You don't have to do your destination, and you don't have to put an email address in here. Simply click OK, and launch for you. Open screen, so let me bring it over here for you. And you'll have it attached right here in email. You can use your Outlook address book and put in the body of the message like you want. When they say that you have a web-based email, we can exactly with that one, but that doesn't mean you can't email it out. So, and this time, choose to save it to your desktop. Hit over on your desktop. At this point, you can go to the program and attach it like you would anything else. Email and the Save to File have these two areas right here in the center. Therefore, let me select them. I'm going to right-click on these and send to so you can see those active. Here we are. Documents Profile. If you have a bunch selected like I just did there, I selected 6 of them. The there means that we're going to have 1 document per file, or I'm going to have 6 documents as an end result, 6 attachments. Or they'll all merge together into 1 file or 1 attachment. Of how these are going to be sent out. If they're likely in a TIFF file format, and most don't work with TIFFs all that well. I'm not really sure what TIFFs are. I'll show you that here. Again, send to email. Take a look at this attachment. It's a TIFF file. It's not a PDF, so it's a TIFF file. If you convert those, if you want those sent as PDFs, output your PDF. First option means native documents. There's documents in here that are not image files or PDFs. Maybe I have a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet in their native format. I have a group of them selected, and I have a Word, an Excel document, and then some image files. How you're going to send the image files out in the native format, and then if you have mixed in that group, send those either PDF or TIFF. Pause a moment. Are there any questions up to this point? All right. When you want to retrieve, click on the binoculars on the left. 3 different retrieve options. The first is simple search, and most commonly it's where you put in any word or phrase to find what you're looking for. Too many results, so you need more options available. And now you can use your table and add multiple fields to filter records down. You can browse instead and browse a folder structure if you'd prefer that. When selected, come up, keyboard, and now documents are selected and in view. It's showing you the first one where you can scroll through the pages, or you can scroll through the documents themselves. All of these icons above where you can delete, rotate, annotate, or show the annotations. Now some extra features, so some more here. Icons above the document here on the left as well. That here on the left-hand side, if you make changes to something like you change the title of this document, you want those changes. The red will delete the document, not the page. So inside, deleting the page, red X up here, you're deleting the whole document. Next pin, stay on top. This is if you only have one monitor or if you're working on different applications. What the push pin will do is show your document on top of everything. So next, if you're doing some data entry or you're in your accounting system and you need to process, I didn't mean to zoom in. Maybe you need to process an invoice or write a check, you need some information from docSTAR. You could be in your accounting system, like see how it shows up in the background? So you can work on that, and your document will always be on top. It's useful if you only have one monitor. And then icons offering you different document views. One will show us the document and hides all those panels on the left-hand side. The next panel, which we will go next. And this one's a pretty important one. This is document text. Some documents can be OCR, where we're pulling in all the words on the document to try to retrieve by. That is a default option, by the way. That has to be turned on in the filing scheme. But turned on. That can retrieve by any word of this document. I could retrieve by net 10 days or screwdriver or Schenectady. Here, that may not be part of my metadata. If you want that right here, show document text, and this text that's used to file this document that you can retrieve.
Website. County.
So click or off will show you or toggle back and forth between the text of the document and the actual document itself.
In the last couple months.
Now to look at these panels here on the left. I'm going to list a few of them now.
June canceled.
The first, here, title, the keywords, the custom fields, and the folders. These metadata are how this document is filed in the system. The title is obviously the title of the document. Keywords, this is just some additional words that may have been used to file so that you can find it later. Different custom fields. These custom fields are what we're using on that retrieve screen. When you retrieve, you can choose in the field list that I was showing you. This is where it's come from. So I'm going to retrieve by customer number equals or invoice equals. And even in a folder at all, what folder that document is in. So if I want to retrieve this document right now, I can use any of these areas to retrieve by. Panels to look at too. So these are the filing. We will come back to these once we move to the filing side of our session. So look more. We've got edition. This shows the security class of the document and maybe who can or cannot approve the document. This means rights in order to access these and apply someone who can approve it. But can approve the document, my approvals area, would they approve or reject the document? To log on with a different user to do that. Let's see, I believe I need a comment. Actually, this one wants to get to the filing side. I don't have any documents in my inbox for him to approve. We'll have the approvals. If it's in a state that can be approved, you can click on the approve or reject buttons here and put an approval stamp on your document. I'll put a section on here right now, and I'm giving an option to give a reason why. And marked as rejected, it has rejection, the data by who, and any comments that they added. Stamp, it's treated as annotation, so you can move it. It always appears in the top left-hand corner, but if that's the wrong place or if that's on top of something, you can use your annotation toolbar to move somewhere else where it's easier to see. Any questions at this point? Panels to talk about in here. Next one will be information. This is just additional information about the document, when it was created, modified, accessed, things like that. Also technical information. What document it is. Is it a TIFF file or is it a PDF? Is it a Word document, Excel spreadsheet? Some information on here. You probably won't be in those two areas too often. One I'm using quite a bit is related documents. Just showing you other documents related to this one. I'm looking at the packing list right now, but see the sales order, the customer PO, or the number. These in a separate list, so I can compare them if I want. I can compare the invoice to the packing list and make sure that these match up.
I wonder how it knew it was related.
The documents here, this works based upon the custom fields. So these have filed the document on, and relationship is showing me documents that have some of the same values as this. These are done by you. They're not set up by administrator. Every person has to configure these themselves. And that's the show rated button. It's the two people on. If you click on this, you can choose what custom field you're going to relate on. So like I'm choosing invoice, showing me all documents that have the exact same invoice number as this one. this is number 1073. So I'm seeing all of the documents that have invoice number 1073 in them. Change that on the fly. Maybe I don't want to see for those for that invoice. Maybe all documents for the same customer. So instead, close that, and now documents for this one customer. I have 4 documents now. And all here on the fly, so you can determine which one is showing under related based upon custom fields by in the list. If you do in one field, it's an seeing all documents that have the same customer number and the same invoice number as this one. Filing then. Now that we retrieve these documents, work on them, email them, print them, see what our metadata is. How these were brought into the system and filed in the first place. How do they even get into this state? So we're going to be in that area talking about capturing documents. That you can capture or bring a document into the system. And we have lots of different import types. So start and on the left-hand side, and this is intended for use if you have a desktop scanner, not a network scanner. We handle those in a different way. So if you're on your desk, it's connected to your computer with a USB cable. This is what you use. Button. And now you scan window, you have some scan options.
Do you remember that contract between Rossi?
To do, if you've never used the docSTAR before and this is the first time you're doing it, we need to select the scanner and tell docSTAR which scanner you're going to use. I don't have it connected, so it's not going to work for me on this one. But you pick your scanner that's installed. On the left, choose your template. A lot about once we get more into the filing. But what is like a set of rules that's applied to the document. So you need to know what type of document this is. If I'm scanning invoices, then I might want to choose the invoices template. If it's a customer invoice, I can choose one of these and order. Maybe it's an HR document, I'm going to choose the HR template. So you want to choose the right template for the type of document you have. Template, these options will be defaulted for you. Because I chose AR, it's put in box, and it's an AR security class. It's a different template, but may have different defaults. They're probably all accounting ones. Invoices is public and accounting. So, first. And then if you have to change any of these other options, go ahead and change them. I will talk about these in just a minute. Scanning. Scanning, a scanner must be connected. Click the scan. So you only need to do this once. Select your template and then make any changes that you need to. Then the document will be brought into the system that way. Now, I have a desktop scanner. You want to import these in, or maybe you have a PDF or Word document on your desktop. You don't want to press to rescan it. So let's go over the import options. The option is manual import. That right here in the docSTAR program on the main screen like this, and you can go to docSTAR menu, Files, and this is what files you're going to import it in. You can choose these. I have my import window. The exact same features you saw in the scan window. They're just made a little differently. On the left, choose template for these type of documents. Anything that you might need to. Again, we will talk about these in just a minute. And on import. And documents will be imported in. So that's one method, the manual import. That, again, from the menu, files. If you have on your desktop, you don't necessarily have to have docSTAR open. You can just drag right onto the docSTAR icon. So I just drag the same import window pop up. That one in. So you have the manual import and drag drop right it and dropped it onto the icon. Next would be our to. You click as well and choose to docSTAR. Menu item in here if it's installed. I don't have it installed on my system. It's defaulted installed on most. So right into, and that'll do the same as the import. It's right there. You can do. This is a plan. This is a drag and drop or an import directory, a sweep folder. This is the network scanners. You may have a community scanner or a big MFP, a giant copier that everyone walks up to and uses, and they just hit a button on there, and when they hit that button, the document is scanned and it goes to the U drive. What happens is those documents go to a folder somewhere. Could be a folder on the desktop, it could be anywhere, it doesn't matter what. In our example, I'm just using a folder on my desktop. I call docSTAR to directory and bring in any document that's in there. I'll do that now. The left, this is my import folder. I can a document like this into this directory, and you'll change to LCK and then disappear out of there. That means I just brought it in. So network device that you're scanning with, or if you have a folder that everyone can just drop folders into it on a U drive, a Q drive, something like that, you can configure docSTAR to pull anything from that directory. That's in the docSTAR client under setup. Get into those features. So you might have to contact an administrator here as an admin so that I can do that. Setup. And now tab over auto import. You can all of your import directories here. When you import, you say what path, so what folder you're going to import from, and the options are the same. You can select the template. This is the most important part. What template is going to be for those documents. Import methods talk about, and then I'll go into those other details, is the Office integration. That one's installed on the system, so you probably have to run a little setup for it. It is included with every docSTAR system, so there's no additional licensing for this. You can see your help menu, run setup, and when you run the setup, you'll have an option. I'll show you what it looks like here. docSTAR database. I'm going to do my setup files. It'll look like this. So on the docSTAR menu, client installation, and the second one down is to install the Office plugin. Is installed, and it gives you another import option. In Excel and Outlook, let's see my Word document, new Word document right here, and this Word, Excel, and Outlook, you'll have tab under a dot icon. So now I can just import this Word straight into docSTAR, just as it is, for Excel and even your emails. On this, something you need to know here is this on the 32-bit version of Office. You're running 64-bit version of Windows, so you could have Windows 8 64-bit to have 32-bit Office installed in order to use the Office plugin. You can use any of those other import methods, save it to the top, or just drag and drop it to that folder. About the print import. Print license. It's a new module. Come with every docSTAR system. You want to make sure you're licensed for it. And if you do the same thing, you have to install it. Main menu again. Database setup. Where's my menu? Alright, when you're in docSTAR client menu, you're now choosing to install print import. When print is installed, you'll have docSTAR printers on your system. Now, and print this Word document, use to print it to my docSTAR printers. black and white, docSTAR Color, docSTAR PDF. This is best under two circumstances. One is you may have a web page, and you don't, or the web page is always changing, so you want to bring that into docSTAR that way. You can print the web page in. Or case, which is far common, is printing a report from some program, and you want to enter that report. So if I'm a program and I want to print up my monthly invoices, I just print them to the docSTAR printer and have them go straight to docSTAR rather than print them to actual paper, take them to the scanner and scan them in. Question so far was import methods?
Yeah, importing with email. Attachment. If someone sent there's a PDF as an attachment. I saw that you have to save it to your desktop and then import to import it straight from the email.
It depends on what you're looking for. If you have the email and the PDF is attached, for instance, and you're using the Office plugin, then the email will come in. It'll be the body of the email, and there'll be a blue link with STAR. So in docSTAR, I don't have one to show you, but I can draw. You'll have the body of your email, and then you'll see your attachments right here. So you can click on PDF, and it'll open the PDF for you. You're using the Office attachment, this plugin. Now, you only want the PDF or the attachments, and you don't want the body of the email, so you have to do what you said there. You the attachment and save that out.
Okay, I know that's what some of our users are doing, and they were wondering if there was a way to do it just straight from the docSTAR plugin.
At this point in time, that may be a future feature coming though, but I don't have done that yet.
All right, users would definitely like to see.
Okay. Next question from someone. I'm not really sure I understand the question. So if you could give me a little more detail on that, that would be about the docSTAR mailbox. That would be great. Talking while you type that out. Are there questions? Okay, I went on the blank on some of those other ones, those other fields that I skipped over. Report screen or on the scan screen, doesn't matter which one, they're both there. You also have these other options, segregated class, folder, inbox, package, and filing options. I'll show you that in the scans window as well. These are here. What you're showing here, what you're choosing at this point, is inbox the document is going to go into, what folder it's going to go into. If you have the PackageWorks module, what package it's going into. I don't configure any of these. And in fact, I encourage you to never use folder or work package on any of these windows. Your template. What is your template? The template can configure that and do it for you behind the scenes. So don't put something over here. Instead, configure your template to put it in a folder for you. It'll leave you a lot less clicks. So you don't worry about clicking on all those, clicking on folder, inbox, clicking on work package, just like your template. The one that you might want to change, the template will default to certain inboxes. So maybe it's default to the accounting inbox, but this one shouldn't go in accounting. It should go into your personal inbox. You could change one. I think that's the one that you'd be changing more than anything. Don't to if you don't have to. Now here with your template, you can also choose the security class. This is at this point. This is can view and access and edit and delete that document. So document is public, and access to public, which is almost usually in most cases it's every person can see that document. So sometimes you might want to change that or think about how this document is going to come in. Now again, the template will default that for you. I said orders, for instance, and security class changed to the AR security class. On any of these windows, select template is important, and selecting security class is also the next most important thing you should be looking at next. So these are just preferences you can change as you go. window. You don't have this as an import side. But on the scanning, we have document options. You can choose to bring in one single document or separator pages. What this is, if you have a stop scanner and you put 10 pieces of paper in that scanner and you scan them through one document, you're going to have one 10-page document. Single documents means you're going to have 10 one-page documents. So each page is going to be its own document. And then, of course, you can use the separators. Here on the scan, your separator options are blank pages or scanner separator page. Note that we separate on barcodes as well. We just don't do it here. We do it within the template. Used separation type is a blank page separator. That means someone just has a stack of documents and a blank piece of paper in between each one. So that docSTAR knows when it sees that blank piece of paper, it needs to start a new document. And in most cases, they're doing that, they're using a colored piece of paper for the separator, usually over a pink sheet of paper that they put in between so that they can quickly see it and grab it and pull it out if they need to.
Sorry. The single page document, that be if it's if you know that everyone in has nothing on the back side of it?
Well, yes. If you're doing two-sided, well, it depends on your scanner. If your scanner can scan duplex and it can scan both sides at once, the first side is one document and the second side is another document. Blank back sides, it'll put the second page as another document.
Okay. But if you know that there's only one and you leave two checked, then it'll do it as a single document without the blank page.
Right.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. I'll come back to that one in a minute just because I kind of moved off topic for that one in a moment. Acknowledging I see your question. All right, well, we need to go over these filing options, but before I get to this, we need to see how documents are filed. So we've brought them all into the system. We never imported them in. Well, they go into the file box. Your holding store. Documents that are currently being processed. These are your active documents that someone needs to work on. When you and the first thing you see in the top left is what inbox you're working out of. I have the inbox. But a different inbox, maybe today Amy's out on vacation, so I need to work on Amy's things. I can move to Amy's inbox. Or our HR department, I can move over to the HR inbox. So I can switch between inboxes that I have access to. We can see those so you can't see them. But I have more than that one in a few minutes. So the top left, you see what inboxes you have available. Once your inbox selected, these are the documents you can work on. So from I have one or two. Let's just do one right now. And document view. But now the file button. This we didn't talk about yet. And that's let's open it again. It has a very title, no custom fields, and no folder. The retrieve screen, those documents that all sorts in there. Well, that came from the template. With the template on there. So we're going to do that right now. On the link section, this is the template that's applied to the document. If I run the template and collect all that metadata, I'll click one template button and then fill out the prompts, whatever the template's asking me for. Trying to gather specific information for that type of document. And this framer orders, so select what type of document. I'm given a drop-down list. I'm looking at invoice, so I'll pick an invoice. Invoice number, I'll type in and now, well, I have an error. I need to pick a different template. keywords, the custom fields, and the folder. They're all within the document so you can see it better.
Nothing in the keyword.
No keyword, no custom fields. It's not in a folder right now. If I choose a template to file with here, all I need to do is fill out the prompts that the template is asking me for. This one is sales order. 1,000. I have a meaningful title. I have all sorts of custom fields, and put it in a folder. It was designed to do. So it's critical. On each cases, I'm in the inbox. I'm running the template on there. When this document is complete, no more work or action needs to occur on this, I can click on File permanently, and that's my list. Together here. Again, or scan, doesn't matter what. So, select the template. Make class if I want that to change as well. And import them in. To my inbox. Run whatever the template's asking me for. And then file permanently. This document is gone. Now, what I showed is how to file one document at a time. This is called file manually. You use those as an option here on the import screen on the scan window. The option file later is the one I'm showing you, where it's the inbox, and I open up the inbox and go for the documents that I want to work on.
It's gone till later.
Now, if I chose file manually, it's going to save me one step. It's going to save me clicking on the inbox. Steps. Import file, select it, choose template, must say remember that. Just file manually. And opens it up for me. So I don't need inbox, I can just run my template. A file. If you're filing a batch or a group of documents all in one shot, that would automatically be button. Something like I'm showing you. I could instead highlight this whole group. Let's do these 4. On here in your inbox, this is your file auto button. It'll run through the template on all 4 of those documents in a single batch. I have 1 of 4 selected. Click on and do whatever the templates ask me. Prompt information. Processing and filing all 4 of those documents, which I picked the wrong template for. So they're all going to error on me. But they all file away. In my case, they failed, and they were returned back to me. Filing options. File manually, file automatically. So I'll pick the right template this time.
It's still awesome. Yeah, it works.
Hi, guys. Here you go. Pick the wrong template. So this time, I'm going to change the template. I keep the template in there for my troubleshooting class. We've got 4. Click on fill out the information. This one is a paste. Here, go small processing them, and the end result 4 processed, 1 had a problem, so it put it in the box, but 3 of them filed successfully. You do box every time. Problematic documents, they don't file the way you want to, or you have that message, that's the next button down. review. The review box is documents may have failed, and it gives a reason why it failed. It tried to OCR, and it couldn't OCR everything, so it's asked me to review it for I want to. So you really have to figure out, read the reason as to why it's failing. It was a better demonstration of how you can file a batch of documents in one shot. You need more in these documents. I need to bring a bunch more in here. So I filed them all away. I will select my template. That's okay. Okay. These documents are all imported in, and they're all being put into the default inbox. So when I'm working on the default inbox, maybe as time goes on, as I'm working on these, I realize that some of these aren't mine. They belong to accounting or they belong to the HR department. I need to move these to somebody else. So I don't do packing lists. Some of these in my inbox and they shouldn't be here. I can highlight like I just did. I hit Control and I left click on each of those documents. Click box and I can move them to a different inbox. HR inbox. So not anymore. Now HR's problem. These documents here. If I do or work, modify different documents in boxes, I just click star, and these documents I move there. So I want here. I have access to the HR stuff unless they're HR. Most people, when they log in, they won't see HR as an option. I see anything else. Inbox, she see HR. So the HR inbox is hidden, meaning that she can't get to those documents that are in there. Of those documents. Back in here, we're going to look at HR inbox one more time, and this time take a close look at the. I need to log on my wrong account. Take a close look at the security class. But the security for these documents is not HR. The security class here is AR. So just see the inbox doesn't mean I can't get to those documents. I can still come here to retrieve and still all documents using any of my fields here. So be very cautious of that. Just a document has a security class, or even a folder has a security class, does not, or an inbox or a folder has a security class, does not mean the document has the same security class. Because you put it in a classified folder. It really has to have a security class on it that no one else can see. Any thoughts, concerns on that? Mark's going to have a few things to talk about, but not too much, about 10 minutes, and then I'll turn it back to you for those questions. Next is licensing. When you're a program like this, like I'm showing you right here, and you're looking at the main screen, you're not taking a license at all. You're taking a license. When you click on any of these buttons on the left-hand side, you're taking up a license now. Licenses are floating or concurrent licenses. The site may have maybe 3 licenses on there. If you click on the inbox button, you're taking up 1 license. No one else can do that, or only 2 other people can now do that. So it's perfect to log in or click on the inbox. They can't because you have the inbox tied up. About all of the system. If you're not using docSTAR, if you're heading off to lunch or going to a meeting, you don't have to close the program completely, but you do need to come back to the main screen so you're not taking a license up from somebody else. About your preferences. A lot of things that I'm showing you right now, you can preferences. For instance, click on the scan button. Maybe I'm always scanning the accounting customer template. I can default it, so that's an option. Things so it's emails when I'm emailing them out as a PDF. I can make it PDF as my default. Options, preferences, and you can set preferences in here. I won't have all of them, but I do want to point out some big ones. Here, Scan tab, your default scanner template is going to be. Now that I have that saved, whenever I click on Scan, it defaults to that. That. Let's see a couple of these other ones in here. Your View tab, on the right side, show related documents in external window. This one I showed you earlier when we clicked on related documents and opened up that document in a second window so I could see them side by side. Usually you do want that checked, and that's not the default setting. Another difference you want to look for. You can do it to PDF. More preferences, but those ones that I usually change. I'm going to stop our recording and turn it to you for questions.